What's up, bitches? Welcome back to another episode of Positively Uncensored, your favorite reality TV and interview podcast. It's your host, Leah. Did it count down on your end? Everybody, today I'm chatting with Brandon Graves, an agent from the agency, a reality TV star, host of his own podcast, Basically Brandon, and the best dressed cast member of Buying Beverly Hills Season 2. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much.
I'm so excited you're here.
I'm excited to chat. Let's spill some tea.
Let's spill it. Tell everybody where to follow you. Everybody get your phones out, pull up Instagram.
Yeah, you can follow me on all social media platforms under Brandon Graves. And as you mentioned, my podcast is everywhere, Basically Brandon.
I'm a huge fan of your podcast. I did listen to a couple of episodes to get myself prepared, see what you've already talked about, so I'm not like going over too much, and I will reference it periodically throughout our recording today and tell people to go to your podcast because I know you cover certain things.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So first of all, I did my research. I looked at all of your listings, and first of all, congratulations, because there's a lot of them.
Thank you. I've been working very hard, so it's good to see, everything come full circle, but still working at it.
I can tell you're booked, you're busy. I saw I went through 12 listings and I was like, oh my God, and they were like beautiful homes.
And we work hard. We have some really great things at the agency. It's a lot of house porn.
Yeah, 100%. That's such a good way to describe it. I feel like on the show, you were sort of introduced as fairly new to the group. Not like a novice, but just new to the group. And I feel like in reality, like you said, you're busy, you're selling. Do you feel like most of that happened after the show, or did the show just limit what we got to see?
Yeah, the show, so it's a very limited portion of my year. That's maybe 4 months out of my year. The other 8 months, I'm still working. This is what we do on and off camera. I see my colleagues and castmates when we're filming and when we're not. We are actual agents. So yes, I'd say first season I was 6 months into the real estate industry. So I was very green, and I'm getting ready to go into my third year. So luckily things have changed and I'm starting to gain some traction.
So this isn't selling sunset. Everybody's still going into the office. No shade, no tea, but everybody's still there throughout the week. Everybody's selling homes. It's kind of like when you realize that your teachers have lives outside of just being at school. It's like, oh, everything still continues when we're not watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got a life. It doesn't it'd be funny if once the show ends, I pause. We just wait for the next season and then I just pick it up again.
Yeah, no sales, everybody. We're just gonna ride off this Netflix top 10 and then see how that goes.
It's don't do anything until we start filming again. Yeah, right.
But literally at one point, I'm jumping a little bit ahead, but we see a little bit. I don't watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, transparently, but we do get to see a little bit of behind the scenes where it's something's going down in their relationship, and it's pick up the cameras. Kyle's got to go back, she's going to film this scene. And I was like, oh my God. Imagine if when you got your biggest listing, it was pick up the cameras, they're coming.
Yeah. Listen. I
would like that though. That's what I'm manifesting.
Yeah, for sure. Our job is to show our real lives. And if something happens, you want to get it captured. You want to share that with the audience, and speak your truth.
And maybe they need a couple of interns to just want to be around everyone. I'll come out there. I'll film everybody as soon as something major happens. If it's not big enough to get the whole crew. I don't know, just volunteering.
Around the clock, 24/7 Truman Show-esque,
100%. So me with a GoPro, riding next to everybody. Yeah, fine. So I saw that you're from Phoenix. I did try to do some research. I would like to know where you went to school first. I'll start there.
So I didn't go to college, but I went to Tempe High School in Tempe, Arizona. I pretty much did all of my schooling in Tempe. I'm a born and raised Venetian. All of my family is there. I'm due for a trip back home. But the good thing about being in LA is just an hour flight away, so I can just jump on a quick little cheap Southwest flight and be home in an hour, and just one glass of wine.
Love that. Which brings me to my next question. So when you're back, what's your favorite spot to eat at?
Oh, there's a few. So there's this deli called Miracle Mile, and if you're from Phoenix, if you know, you know. But I always go there. I have to go there. And then there's this pizza place that I used to go to when I was in high school. It's called Venezia's, and it is so good. So I go there every single time I come home. I go to both of those places, and I usually drag one of my nephews, my sister. I drag somebody with me, or it's or I drag a friend with me so we can catch up. Because I always want to kill two birds with one stone. Let's eat and let's catch up.
100%. So Venezia's, is it like I lived in California. Is it good? Is it better pizza than California pizza? Like, what's the sitch?
It's New York style pizza, thin crust, and they have like a little wing combo situation. You can get a cute little salad. The prices aren't bad. I love a good combo. Don't you love like a good combo? It's like
100%.
pizza, wing, drink.
Yes.
So all that together for like $15. That's perfect to me.
Every time that commercial comes on, and I don't know whether it's Pizza Hut or Domino's, but people are just walking by in New York City and they're like, hey, how much do you think this combo is? And it's like wings, cheesy bread, like a dessert, pop. And every time it gets me, and I'm like, $35, like $40. And it's like $19 every time.
Yes.
And I'm like, say less, because $19, like I can't resist that.
Yeah. I love it.
So yeah, I love a good combo.
Love a good combo.
So I think I heard you say on your podcast that you've always had a passion for interior design. So when did you ultimately make the decision to transition into real estate and pursue that as your career?
Okay, so I came into real estate full time during the pandemic. Actually, I was kind of at a crossroads with my life as far as my journey in Los Angeles. I'd been here for about, at that point, 11 years. I had done what I came to do. I originally came to Los Angeles as a professional dancer. I did that, kind of got over that, and went into the regular workforce, made a good living. But in the back of my head, I always knew that I was going to eventually get into real estate. So I actually had my license about 2 years before I actually jumped into it full time. I used to work for a small brokerage out here in California. I wasn't really getting any assistance, and California, real estate is a very expensive industry. As far as like the fees, the upkeep, there's a lot. So for me, it was imperative that I learn from a top performer and a top professional. So what I did was I kind of just took a step back and started planting seeds to work for someone as an assistant. Yes. Long story short, I'm doing clip notes.
No, this is perfect.
Okay. Pandemic hits. My lease happens to be up at the time. I'm still working at my old job in health insurance. Again, my lease is up, so I'm like, okay, maybe this is time for me to go home. It's the pandemic. I'm by myself. I'm completely isolated. So I decided to go home. I go home, but I leave my belongings in storage, which is very important. Something told me, even though I was going home, because I didn't have a living situation figured out, I was going to go home with my parents. So there was no way for me to even bring all of my belongings. So I put everything in storage here in Los Angeles. So I went home. I stayed with my parents. It was glorious. I took up tennis lessons with my best friends. We were eating hot wings and drinking margaritas every night. Like, we were chilling. I was having a blast, just kind of decompressing, and maybe I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm just going to come home and settle in. I was arranging to have a job transferred to a position in Phoenix. And then one day, after playing tennis with my buddy, I got an email from a guy saying, hey, are you still looking for assistant work? And it didn't show where he was from, or what company he was working with. And that turned out to be Kevin Stewart, the guy that you see on the show with me, who's Sonica's ex-boyfriend and kind of like a good friend of mine. You see him in season 1 and in season 2. So I say yes. We hop on a call. We have a quick interview. And he hires me. So I come back. I get an apartment in Los Angeles, sight unseen. I kind of do everything like online. Get an apartment sight unseen. I come back still with my insurance job, and now I'm assisting him, doing all of his stuff. And he was very busy. We sold $70 million that year. $70 million in real estate that year, him alone. And I was assisting him, and I was getting a cut out of every deal too. For the record,
Sonika.
for the record, and at that time, that's when I met Sonika, because they were together then. And then,
OMG.
And then eventually, I started closing my own deals. And about 6 months into me working with him, the show came around, and here we are now.
This
Yeah.
is amazing. So first of all, you planting the seed, like your roots are obviously in Phoenix, but you planted some seeds in California. You left your stuff in storage. That's huge, like you said. You didn't completely leave there. And that I feel like left a door open for you to manifest what you wanted to happen. And then let's jump to 70 million. Oh
70
my.
million.
And let me tell you, as a viewer, I'm kind of like, what's Kevin doing here? Like, they don't really tell us about Kevin. Like, we don't know that he's that much of a
He's very
active
successful.
100%. I didn't know that. And
Yeah.
then jumping around again, Sonika, not you actually being his assistant first, and then like working for the agency, and then her thinking that just because she's the girlfriend, she deserves a cut. That makes it even worse, to be honest. The
Yeah.
fact that you were there.
That all came the whole house stuff in the house that came like a year later. But first season was when I first like met everyone. So I was very, very new to everything. I don't know how I had the courage to even step into this space, to be honest. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm glad I did. But it's a lot. It's a lot.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of comments like that. Like there's a lot of comments that have acknowledged the things that you've like raised awareness on and brought to attention, like door knocking, cold calling, the disadvantage, and even like outright danger for people of color to do that. So I think those conversations were so important, as well as, yes, you were coming into like a very white space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not only Beverly Hills, but the agency. Like there's not too much diversity there. So it does take, people don't realize how much resilience it takes from someone. And it's so unfortunate because you shouldn't have to muster up the strength to try and also deal with all of the bullshit. But
Yeah.
I commend you for, getting into the agency, talking about these things, bringing attention. I was going to ask this later, but while we're here, I would hope as a viewer that since there's been awareness, have you seen any positive changes in your workplace with, even cold calling, door knocking, or?
Well, I see. I mean, I still don't feel comfortable door knocking, but I
Of
just do.
course.
I just do other things to try to generate business, and I
Yes.
want to be clear. Yes, we have a lot of work to be done as far as diversity in multiple spaces, but thankfully, all of my colleagues I adore, both on my former team and at the agency. I've never had any microaggressions happen to me, and I feel very comfortable with where I work, and I really enjoy it. But there's still definitely a lot of work to be done. And
Yes.
and I didn't. I mean, if I was gonna, my one thing coming into the show is I was gonna be 100% authentic with who I am, where I am, and where I'm from,
Yeah.
and to tell the story of of what my path looks like. I don't have like, my family has worked very hard, and I'm very proud of my family. But I don't have like, I didn't go to school with people who have $30 million ranches to sell, or who are calling me up.
100%.
I just have very different, and I'm not complaining about that, but I have a different perspective on things.
Yes, absolutely. And I think too, it's like naively, because I'm not aware of the real estate business, I would hope that, progressive agencies are able to say like, maybe let's transition from door knocking and cold calling to something that is more equitable for all of our agents to feel safe, comfortable.
Yeah.
Other business, like you said, finding other ways to show business and find business.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is we get to choose what we want to do, but there's
Good.
when there's like, but the main big four are like target letters, which I do. I'm pretty successful at, and you have door knock and you have cold calling. I mean, the big three. So that takes like me down to two, instead of the three.
Any investors listening, billboard in Beverly Hills with Brandon's face
Let's
on
go.
it. Let's go. Let's go. That's what I'm going to manifest next. We're going to go back to more of that stuff later, but
Yeah.
you told us about your path at the agency, and a lot of people were curious how you met John and how you joined his team.
Okay, so when I started as an assistant for Kevin was on John and Lauren's team, and which is now
Got
John
it.
and Adam. So me joining him automatically plugged me into that team. So then
Got
I was an assistant, and then I became a solo agent under that team.
And what has it been like working with a family that is in the media? Like, what's it like working for the agency that is so like celebrity status?
That's a good question. I don't. I mean, working in it, we don't really think about it, and we don't talk about it. You know,
I
we
thought
just
so.
it
Yeah.
just kind of is what it is. It's and
Yes.
the Alexia, Farah, Sophia, they are real people. They
Right.
are my friends. They are colleagues, and we talk about work. We talk about personal things. We don't talk about like their mother or their dad. I mean, if
Yes.
Mauricio chooses to address something, that's fine. But we don't. It's not a topic of conversation. You know, it would be awkward if it was. Like, why would I bring that up? Yeah,
100%. And
yeah.
I can kind of relate too, because it's like, sometimes people ask like how does it feel to meet people who are celebrities like on your podcast, and I'm like, well, I really do try to form like a genuine connection and like
Yeah.
relationship while I'm doing it. So I try not to think of it that way, or else that really freaks me out. So I just always act like this person's going to love me. We might be friends. We probably already are friends, and then I agree. It's very like you don't really think of it that way when you're, because we're all people. That like
Yeah.
reinforces the interviews, reinforce everybody's people with lives outside of their shows.
Yeah, we are all people. We're all on a journey. So we talk about getting ahead. We talk about relationship stuff, but we do not talk about tabloids or
Valid.
TV shows. Well, we'll talk about our shows because it's part of our work. But we don't talk about anything else.
Valid.
Yeah.
Has the show boosted business for The Office? Like, has it helped?
Oh yes, I
Good.
thankfully it's been this is the best commercial you can get. I remember first season I tell this story all the time because I just think it's so funny. First season, well, I'm like a Chipotle connoisseur. You guys have Chipotle in New York, right?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
on the East
I
Coast.
love
So
Chipotle.
I love Chipotle, and they got the chicken El Pastor back right now, so that's fire. I'm so happy. But I was after season one, like a week after it premiered, I went to my friendly Chipotle. I'm crossing the street, and the guy goes, "Hey, you're Brandon Graves from Buying Beverly Hills." I'm like, "Hey, yes, I am." He's like, "I'm actually looking to buy." Guess what? Sold my house. Met him in a crosswalk. I'm like, "This is great. I fucking love this shit." I'm sorry. Can I curse here?
Yes, of course. You can curse all the time.
I was
I
like, "Oh
am
my god, I love
astounded.
this." Yeah, amazing, right?
Amazing. I want more of that. I want, like, so question two while we're here. Can people reach out to you via Instagram to like come to you to list their house or find a house?
Absolutely. Just be real. Just be real. But just be honest. Be intentional. I got a call yesterday, wait, actually on Wednesday, from someone who's going to be relocating from the East Coast, and they're looking at a pretty high price point. Now, hopefully he's a real person. We've been going back and forth. We haven't locked in anything yet, but supposedly this person's going to be here next week. So fingers crossed. But please call me. But just don't waste my time, people.
Listen, if you're listening to my podcast, you better send proof of funds with your first email.
Yeah.
Like, don't be
Otherwise,
like, be real.
otherwise, just stay in the comment section. Be a fuck like
Literally,
leave a
be like
comment on
goals.
Instagram.
Say
Yeah.
goals, and that's it.
Yeah, do that.
I agree. So when you found out about the show, did you have a list of pros and cons when you were deciding, like, should I do this? Or was it immediately like, this is a platform, I'm going to take it?
It was, this is a platform, let's fucking go. But I was also like, what? I mean, it's the first season show, so I had nothing to compare it to. I don't know anybody who's worked in the reality TV space. I've watched a ton of reality TV. I really like it, but I had nobody to bounce to speak to about this. So I really went into it completely blind. And what people may not know is again, this was during the pandemic. So our entire office was shut down. So my day one of filming, I shook Alexia's hand, I shook Joey's hand. Like, I met them day one of filming the show. Like like I physically met them the first time. So you have to just like jump in. So if you
Oh
go
my
back to
God.
season one and you watch me asking a ton of questions, it's because I'm trying to figure out like what's going on here. Who are you to you? You know, I'm just trying to put it all together because I did not know anybody. Now, did you watch season one at all?
I did. Why am I blanking so hard? To preface, I have watched like 70 shows in between, which is just because I cover so many, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I do remember that now that you say that, but I feel like I didn't even remember Sonika season one, and I know she was there.
Yeah, she was there with me. So I think it's on episode 2 in season 1. So me, Sonika, and John, we're doing a property walkthrough at a property in Beverly Hills, and then Mauricio pops up on us to like do a test. And that scene, That is the moment I met Mauricio. I want you to understand that.
Oh
So
my
do you know how
God.
nerve wracking that is? I'm on camera and you walk through the door and I have to go and I'm only. It was a
I
lot,
do
but
remember this. I
yeah,
do remember
yeah,
this.
yeah. But that was my first time meeting him because it was the pandemic and we were all shut down. So we were all just working in our virtual worlds.
My voice would waver from the presence of the camera, but then when he shows up, like, oh my
Oh,
God.
I was freaking out inside, big time.
That's like the ultimate test. Like right then you're like, I could like after you're done and wrapped, it's like, you know what? I'm meant
Yeah,
for this. I'm meant for
I
this
would.
kind of thing.
I had to settle myself so fast, and I'm like, you know what? We're going, we're rolling. Like, this is what you signed up to do. Just roll with it and do your best. I'm like, you know exactly what you're doing. Just do your shit. And it went well.
And you know what? It happens so fast that it's not like you watch someone else on camera and then you have to think like, how am I going to present myself? Like it's like, okay, like real authentic me, like I'm live. Like so that's
Yeah,
good too.
absolutely.
So I noticed how grand the open houses are both seasons. And I'm wondering if like is this just because of the scale of like how magnificent the houses are? Like is this reality?
Yeah, we have what's called
Wow.
Caravan, and that's every Tuesday, and then a standard open house is every Saturday and Sunday, like during the afternoon. That's when the general public comes. But as far as like us agents getting information on new inventory, we do that every Tuesday, and sometimes we do those big parties. Sometimes we do a twilight, which is like if a home is maybe in the hills and it has great views, then we'll do like a twilight party in the evening, so you can come and you can check out the vibe at night. Because sometimes clients they want to see the house in the day and at the night and the night, and you want to see what you want to bring them back with the pool on, with the fireplace going, with all the lights on. It's a vibe. You want to create that vibe. Yeah,
With the vibe being mentioned, do you have a
yeah.
signature that you do? I know that you mentioned black napkins. Like, is that your signature or do you have another signature?
That's funny. I'm actually dead. I'm actually dead.
I loved it. I was like,
That's
yeah.
funny. That was to match my outfit, which is very vain, but it was cute. I I know I like to have a snack. I like to have water. I like to have candles going because I want it to smell good.
Yes.
And then I always have music, like some music going.
Do you
I
have like
love
a
when the
certain
house.
playlist or a certain scent?
I have like a playlist that I've created that that isn't too offensive to anybody, but still like I like when people come through and they start like dancing. They're like, I'm like, yeah, but do you like the house too? I got the vibe right. What about the house?
Yes. And it's also like kind of like having a drink. Like now they're in a good
Yeah.
mood and like let's look at the house while you're in this space.
Right. Now come over and talk to me and let's see if you have an agent or not.
You're a vibe curator. I love it. You have
Yes,
to be.
I
That's
am.
part of the job. What's your favorite outfit, speaking of outfits, that you wore on the show?
I really liked an interview look that I had with the sequins, the
Love
sequins.
that. Mine too.
I love that too, and I was so because we never know what's gonna make it as far as like in the cut. So I'm like, I hope that interview look makes it. I
I
loved it. Yeah,
It was very
Liberace
cowboy.
moments.
Yes, and cowboy Carter chic. Both.
Beyonce had called me and told me what it was going to be, so I would just give you guys a little hint.
I was going to ask you that. I was like, so did you have an inside line? Because
Yeah,
you could literally
actually,
rewear that.
yeah, we were actually at Chipotle together yesterday. Speaking of Chipotle,
I'm sorry, I had to cough really quick and mute it, but I'm dying because that's where you meet everybody, Chipotle.
it's magical.
Partnership, I'm like thinking of everything. Partnership, Chipotle, if you're listening.
Let's go. There's so many Listen, I'm gonna start making like little videos and just like speaking to camera and just confessing my love for things, and hopefully they reach out. Mazda also owes me a partnership. So Mazda, if you're listening, what are you waiting for? Like, come
Wait.
on! I'm giving you guys so much free stuff.
Somebody asked me such a specific question. I have to find it. I'm sorry. Has the Mazda Rati been upgraded?
She got wrecked a few weeks ago. I got into an accident a few weeks ago. So
Wow.
I think here's the thing. The Maserati still purrs, okay? Because when I bought her, she was purchased in cash. She's serviced by the dealer. She runs very well. She's in excellent condition. And a Mazda is a great car. So yes, I will. I mean, I have some really big things and I think it's time to upgrade. But I don't like bills. And cars are so expensive right now. So I want to be financially in a position where I don't have to worry about that. I want to get rid of some other bills before I take on another one. And I'm pretty much there. And think in the next few months, I think I'll be ready to go in
Well,
and
I'm
make
manifesting
a
that
purchase.
Mazda gives you an upgrade just hearing this.
Yeah.
Here's another
Yeah.
collaboration
Yeah.
sponsorship.
Please call me. Like, I'm down for whatever.
You weren't hurt, correct? Like you weren't injured or anything?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, good. That's like
Yeah.
California. I mean, like on a show I was watching, like Road Rage or whatever, tons of scenes were in California, and I saw it myself, and it's just kind of like, wow, like people can really get mad in these 7 lanes on the highway.
Yeah. We don't really have any patience. I've become a Californian driver. Like when I go home and I drive my parents' car, they're like, "Whoa, slow down!" And I didn't realize that like I've become like that crazy California driver. Like I have no patience. I'm swerving. I'm going. It's bad. I'm trying to get better, but I'm that person as well. But I didn't hit anybody. This guy hit me.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you know that the 5 years I lived in California, so I have like a slight fear of highways, which I'm trying to work on through therapy. I was in an accident, whatever.
Wow.
But I get nervous on them. And for like 2 years, I tried to do the highway in California. And then the last like 3, I literally took back roads, even if it was all the way from like La Habra, which is a very specific city, but to like Long Beach, which is like
wow.
very far, or like even La Habra to like Laguna Beach. Like I would take the back roads, which is like a commitment, if you are familiar with the cities.
It is. So are you only scared when you're driving, or can you be on it if somebody else is driving on the highway?
I can be on it, but I do get a little bit like white knuckle when it's like dangerous conditions. I do get a little scared. I fully acknowledge the fact that it's more likely I would die in a car than in an airplane, and I think that's why it gets like I'm an anxious person. This is why I'm in therapy. Like this is why I'm sorting it out. But yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay, like in the passenger, but I will get anxious if there's like a road rage incident because my thing is always like, don't engage.
Yeah, just keep going.
Keep going.
Driving is dangerous, though.
It is. So drive safe. Wear your seatbelt if you're listening to this while you're driving. When Sonika, we're going to transition a little to Sonika. So when she mentioned how she felt like the agency took Kevin's side, and we sort of see you cut in the confessional, and it's like, well, I'm not really sure because I haven't really seen her at much at work. Realistically, if it's not too shady, how much was she at work?
I mean, not at all, really.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's pretty evident, and Sonika has since came out and said that, I mean, she does not do real estate anymore. She did a live after the show came out. She said she does not do real estate anymore, and she's in school for marketing. But the thing is, Sonika, I've been telling Sonika for years, you are a singer. You are an entertainer. I don't know if you've ever heard her sing, but she's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yes.
She is so talented. So, and I think it's important that we align ourselves with things that are, purposeful for us. And maybe at one point she thought real estate was, but she didn't continue with that. And that's not me being shady. That's the honest to God truth. We stopped seeing her. So, and I think some of those things may have been in her head, but the fact is you stopped showing up.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
And it's an awkward situation to be in anyways during a breakup, you know what I mean? Like even navigating friendships, much less like office tension. So I get how that can manifest itself. The longer you've been away, the more awkward you feel coming in because then it's very noticeable. So I can see how the anxiety could progress to just avoidance. When she asked for your commissions, was she kidding? Like, let's start there.
No, that's why you saw me laugh. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Am I on punked? Like, what's happening right now? Like, sis, that's not how it works. And number one, you took your name off of title. Why would you do that? I have so many questions for you. Like, while you're coming to me, I have so many questions as to why you would do that. Like,
that's me writing down, don't take your name off a title. Because when you said that in the show, too, I was like, I don't know what, like, I haven't bought a house yet, but don't ever do that. Noted. Got it.
So when you buy a house, you are on title as the owner. So if she took her name off, she's saying, I no longer own this house. So if you don't own anything, you're not entitled to any proceeds of that sale. Oh. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. That's bad. Yes.
Now, so would you take your name off of title?
No.
Exactly.
Now let me say.
Next question. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, but really, I was like, let me not say that my name's not even on this lease right now. But it's okay. It's a lease.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I thought is I'm like maybe Sonica maybe wouldn't have asked this if this wasn't televised, and maybe it's kind of like production's kind of like, yeah, this is a good time for you to ask. Like, you should totally ask right now. I could see that, so I wasn't sure if it was kind of played up or if that's something that she would actually ask.
I would not ask that
I would not
because
ask that.
I would look like an ass if I asked that, especially knowing how business works. So I would hope that that's an original thought because you couldn't pay me to ask somebody that.
Seriously, I agree. And then I noticed afterwards in my rewatch before our episode that she was actually still at the party. So did you guys speak? Because I thought I watched this and I'm assuming Sonica goes home, and then my fifth rewatch, I'm like, oh my god, she just looked at Brandon when he passed by. Like, did you guys re-speak at that event?
No, I left shortly after.
Fair, I would have too. The vibes are weird. Like, let's go.
Yeah, gotta go. Let's go to dinner.
Yes, let's go. Heavy on the let's go to dinner because now I need to eat. Like, that drains my
Exactly.
caloric intake.
Yeah, time to eat.
Time to eat. Has she apologized since then?
She hasn't apologized, but we have spoken since then. And listen, I'm not with all the commentary that she's getting. I love and adore
100%.
Sonica, but you have to understand that the audience is going to have questions. So I've been trying to like encourage her through that process. Like, don't. It's a lot. People are coming at her, and
100%.
who wants to be called stupid and dumb in their DMs? I don't think that's nice, but
Yes.
the audience is engaged, and you just have to rise above and know who you are, and don't put yourself in a position to look like that. Most importantly,
Yes.
that's what you do. Yeah.
Yes. And audience members or anybody listening to my podcast, this is not a reason to go send hate mail. Get a life.
Yeah.
Like, that's, you know what I mean? There's a difference between having an opinion and talking about it with your friends, commenting, on a Reddit thread, something innocent, sending hate mail, death threats, very weird behavior.
Very weird. And you know what? Once I've stepped into this reality space, my commentary on things has totally changed. Like,
Same.
I love Twitter, but you will very rarely see me say a negative thing about anybody. Because I know how that feels, being a subject of the ridicule and stepping in. Sure, we make a choice to be on reality TV, but I'm a person too. And I don't want to read that type of shit about me. Now, granted, some stuff is funny, and I will reply to things that are very funny. but for the most part, like, I'm not looking to put that negative energy out there. Like, why are you tweeting telling somebody to die or they need to be fired? That's ridiculous. Like, get a life.
And there needs to be more accountability because I recognize there's bots, but trolls are still people. And if you're a troll and your position is to get online and demonize someone just because the internet gives you anonymity, I truly hope that someday your anonymity gets taken away from you and that you get serious repercussions. Because if the internet wasn't anonymous, I doubt people would be so audacious to say that
Exactly.
stuff.
And chances are, if you saw me in person, you would not say that. I know damn well you wouldn't say it to me in
I
person.
didn't realize you were so nice. Like, I love you now. Instant follower. Get out of here, hater.
Exactly. Yeah, get out of here.
100%. Okay, so transitioning, who presently do you see most from the cast? Like, who do you hang out with or speak to?
Me and Melissa just went to lunch a few days ago. I love her, which I stated on the show, but I do love Melissa, and we really leaned into everything together. We clicked from the jump. I too met her while filming season 1, but she's been a doll. We spent time in Dallas. Melissa's great, but I do see everyone on the regular when I go to the office. Like I said, we're actually there, but I'd say I'm really close to Melissa. Yeah, out of everyone.
Did Melissa ever? Now I can't remember his name right now, other than he was like pretty attractive. Did she ever get Adam? Did she ever get any more, like, anything more from Adam? Can you say? I was
No.
kind of rooting for her. Okay.
She got nothing.
And he said that too. He's like, I'm giving everybody nothing of me at the office. And I was like, oh, the way I would try harder. That makes me toxic, I know, but like, the way I would
Adam actually has a girlfriend, so
okay,
there's
and
that.
I have a boyfriend, so like, just everybody, like, not trying, but mentally.
I know what you mean.
It's like the head. It's
I
like,
get it.
Why can't
I have a thing. I don't. Straight men don't do anything for me, but I understand the appeal. Like I like things that I can have.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
I'm sorry. Are you hearing those dings? I'm trying to turn my phone off.
I'm not actually.
Okay, it's only in my ears then, so that's good.
Oh, okay, good. I'm sorry that it's in your ears, but I did not hear it.
So, okay, perfect.
Are you getting an earthquake now? Because that's what happened to my phone earlier. It was like, dang, earthquake.
No, I'm getting text messages from a group chat, which is even worse.
No, literally. I was kind of hoping that you got sent the earthquake from my place.
Yeah.
Um, I need to talk about Ben a little bit. I know that you've talked
Okay.
about Ben on your podcast. Is he as messy outside of filming as he is inside filming?
Ben is Ben. To answer that, you can take that however you like, but Ben is exactly who he is. Ben is Ben has a lot of unsolicited advice, but sometimes his advice, I mean, he always has a good tidbit for you, but you may not ask for it, but you just receive it, you know? Like, we were talking, I had a listing appointment last week, and I was in the office, and I was asking him, you know, because we were actually on a live, and I asked him, you know, like, what's your approach to this? And he gave me a really good bit, and I used it, and it was great with me and my client. So, I mean, he's a wealth of information, he just spills over.
Got
But,
it.
I mean, I like Ben. We are working on it. We don't, but the thing is, we don't have to be best friends. We just have to respect each other. All
Yes.
I, that's all I give respect. That's what I want in return. And if our friendship develops from that, I'm open to that. But if not, I'm cool with that too, baby. Like
Yes.
it's good. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I feel I don't know if it's fair to say he's well intentioned just because he misses sometimes, but I would like to think he's well intentioned, you know, and he is likable. He is. Sometimes he says
Yeah.
things and I'm like, that's weird. Like I wouldn't say that. So for that reason, that is very funny.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I really hope that he sees all of the negative comments and critical comments of him and reflects and educates himself just because, you know, he does come off dismissive, which I know that you talked about on your podcast. And I know that you also talked, and this is a plug, go listen to Basically Brandon because you do
Thank
talk about
you.
these things. On your podcast, you say that you were going to have a conversation about the culture fit comment with Ben and just sort of clarify. Have you done that yet?
Yes, me, Ben, and Melissa were actually on a live last week, you know, just talking to fans and just chatting, and I gave him the opportunity to address that. And he said, and number one, I don't believe Ben to be a racist,
Right.
but I had to hold him accountable for the words that he used, because when you're using this type of language to a minority, understand that people may take things the other way. So you just have to be careful how you craft things. But I too was taken back by culture fit. Like, what do you mean? What does that mean? Yeah, maybe
Yes.
cultural was the wrong word to use.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And I, you know, I'm very outspoken about this, at least, you know, on my podcast and with my content. But I think that there's this real gap between the idea that like racism is something that you can avoid just by being a good person, or even like at the opposite side, like because you're a good person it's impossible for you to be racist. And you know, I hope people sit with further the fact that by saying that you are racist or you are acting racist, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It means that you need to educate yourself. You were doing something that was very hurtful. All of us, unless we are a person of color, we won't know their experience to know that some things we say aren't hurtful. And it's not an attack on you to say, you know, that you the way you acted was racist or that you need to look at your implicit bias. Everybody should who is white.
Yeah, and implicit bias is the key word, because we all have things that we need to overcome
Absolutely.
and change, and implicit biases have to be examined by everyone. Yeah.
Exactly. So I hope that he does that. I hope that the constructive comments, you know, serve. And now we'll move along a little bit to the Aspen trip because that trip
Ooh,
you were on, and I loved this trip so much, so
I did
much.
too. I loved it. That was my first time in Aspen. I had so much fun.
I was going to ask you about that because I remember that was your first time in Aspen. Like overall, what did you think?
Rich, honey, rich,
Oh,
rich.
it looked
we
rich.
I mean, the hats at Kimosabe, the store that we went to, which has been on Housewives of Beverly Hills as well. Those hats were like $1,500 and up. Like those were not cheap hats. And they're like, "Are you getting one?" I'm like, "Hell no!" For that, I'm gonna go next door to Gucci. I mean, Gucci's next door. What the fuck? What do I need a $2,000 cowboy hat for?
100%. Unless that
Yeah,
$1,500 is what got Kyle Richards to meet Rihanna. And because
yeah,
if so, if that's where they met, fine. Maybe.
yeah.
Maybe
It
I'd buy a
was, yeah.
hat.
That's where they met upstairs. They have like a little private area upstairs. That's where we were doing shots.
Was that
Yeah.
on your trip? So you were there when she met? Okay.
Oh
Love
no,
that.
no, I wasn't there when she met Rihanna. That was a
No, but
separate
like
trip.
at
Yeah,
oh, okay, separate trip. I was about
yeah.
to say this is tea. The Rihanna was at the Aspen buying Beverly Hills trip. Fake.
I
Sorry,
wish.
guys. Sorry.
I wish there would have been stories out the ass. Like I would have been posting all kind of selfies. Like day one of the show coming out, I would have led with that.
I would have been like, maybe I would be like, maybe just do a little dance and reconsider the like your professional dance career just to see like getting offered a spot by Rihanna. I don't know. Maybe consider
Yeah,
and sell houses
yeah.
as well. I don't know.
I might put a sit on hold to go on to a Rihanna.
Like a little like yes, a little 1-2 number.
Little why in my hip.
Yes. Now I want to talk about real estate because we had a lot of questions written in. So
Okay.
a lot of viewers are really curious about real estate, which I'm not going to lie, shocked me just because personally I felt like it would be out of my depth to even get it. So I was like so shocked that so many people are like, no, like I'm so interested in learning about this. So people want to know what's been your biggest challenge launching your real estate career and then what's been most rewarding for you as you've launched your real estate career.
I'd say my biggest challenge is finding ways to generate business that I actually enjoy. I'm not a person who, I mean, I know we're supposed to do things that make us uncomfortable and we're going to have to do things that we don't like, but my motto is like, I want to make everything enjoyable and I want to do things that I enjoy. So I've had to find ways of prospecting that I actually enjoy and that I will continue to do. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to do it for very long.
Very
Okay.
exciting. And this will, and like I said, I think that I'll look at this and it'll be better than we think.
Yeah.
You said that we were talking about your biggest challenge and the most rewarding. And I think you said, what did you say that your biggest challenge was?
Prospecting and finding new ways to generate business and something that I actually enjoy that I'm willing to do every single day because I have to do it every day in order to
There
get
we
business.
go. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. And I appreciate that aspect and that quality about you because it is so hard to pursue what we love and enjoy versus what we might have skills for or what we may get a degree in or what society tells us to pursue. So it's essential to find that. Has that also been the most rewarding is finding what you love?
The most rewarding is doing something that I love and finding a way to get paid
Absolutely.
in various ways
Yes.
and paid well. So I don't make any money unless I close the deal. So and sometimes the deal can take 2 years. And it's gratifying. That's why when people say that realtors make so much money, it's like, you have no idea like what it took for me to get that check.
Totally. It's a lot of
Yeah.
behind the scenes, a lot of patience, a lot
A lot of
of
follow up, nurturing. Sometimes my clients, they have life events that take them out of the game for maybe 6 to 8 months. The last client that I closed, I've been working with them for 2 years, and they just had some situations that happened personally that took them out of the game. And then one day they just happened to be like walking at a random open house. They didn't like set up a showing with me. They saw the house, they loved it. They called me. Like I was like in the bed, like taking a nap. They called me. I jumped up as I always do for my clients, and then we wrote an offer, and they got it. And it just happened so fast.
you're amazing.
Thank
Let
you.
that be a testament to you that you, even if you're sleeping, you have fast reflexes. You get up to catch a TV when you're sleeping. You get up to get your clients when you're sleeping. Don't ever try to come for Brandon while he's sleeping.
Yeah, but
Like
please
that.
don't interrupt me while I
No,
like to
please
sleep.
don't interrupt his beauty sleep, though. On the absolute real, don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sure it could wait, whatever it is.
It can always wait. I think you say this on your podcast. People wanted to know advice for people wanting to be in real estate. So if you do, we can skip this question and direct them to basically Brandon. But if you haven't, let me know.
No, I mean, I'm happy to answer, and they can still go to Basically Brandon.
Okay, love it.
My number one thing for me is if you're looking to get into real estate, I say find out who the top producers are in your city or where you're from and find a way to work with them. And humble yourself and become a student. I always say you don't have to start from the bottom. I don't believe you have to start at the bottom. You know, everybody says you got to start at the bottom and work your way up. No, you can start at the top as long as you humble yourself and realize that you need to learn some shit.
I love
and be
that.
patient and be patient. So aim for the top and be prepared to learn is my best advice.
Wow, I love that. I want that all over my house. Let me write down what time you said that. That was great.
Thank
Aim
you.
for the top. I will from now on. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That makes me feel personally inspired.
Who wants the bottom? No, who wants to start at the? I don't have time to start at the bottom anymore. Like I work too hard. Give me a fucking leg up. Like I'm coming. Just give me a hand.
Yeah. Just give us what we're due. We know that we don't
Yeah.
want to start at the bottom. No one wants to start at the bottom. You didn't want to start at the bottom and work your way up. Don't make us do it.
Yeah, come on.
100. Yeah, come on. What should buyers look for in a realtor when planning to sell or buy? Like first time buyers, what should we be looking for?
You want somebody who knows what they're doing, so that they have a track record of selling. I mean, I think that's very important. This is the biggest asset of your life for most people. So you want to make sure that you're working with a skilled professional who's advocating on your behalf and getting you the best deal, or making you or saving you the most money as possible. So that's very imperative. And there's so many different variables that go into negotiating a good deal. And I think I'm pretty good at that. The majority of my clients were first-time home buyers, and I go to bat for them. And they know they can call me anytime. My last clients, we opened escrow, and they had a pre-planned trip to Italy. So they literally jetted off to Italy the day we opened escrow. So I'm taking calls at midnight my time, like 8 a.m. their time, and we're trying to strategize. I'm like, guys, I need you to sign this now because I'm going to bed. Like, I need you to sign off on this right now. I need to have signed documents when I wake up. I can't be chasing you tomorrow because you're going to be asleep. Like, we got to do this now. So, yeah, stuff like that.
Did that work? Did it settle?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We closed. You actually see those clients in episode 10 for like a second.
Oh, I love that
Yeah.
little tea. Now, I'm going to go backwards for a second because I actually briefly brought up Aspen and then I forgot to ask you. So you said that you loved it. You said that you skipped Kimosabi. You went to Gucci instead because why spend the money there? Did you say what your favorite part was and what you thought about the property that you stayed at? Like, what did you think of it?
I mean, we stayed at Colin Mauricio's home in Aspen, and it was amazing. We had a wonderful time. The views from the home, like right off the balcony and breakfast nook, you have these beautiful, vast views of the mountain. And you feel like you can just like reach out and touch them. They're right there. I just kept calling like my boyfriend and my mom. I'm like, look at this. Where am I right now? It was amazing. It did take a while to get used to the elevation. It took me about a day to get used to that. And they have a lot of stairs in their home. So after I would go up the stairs, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm out of breath.
Winded.
And I know I'm fit, but it's like I'm winded.
Yes.
I'm so tired. But after that initial day, everything was fine.
Did you enjoy horseback riding? Your outfit was super cute that day.
Thank you. Yeah, I did. I actually grew up riding horses. That's why I felt very comfortable on that horse. It was just like, just back in the saddle.
Back in the saddle, baby. Cowboy Carter. What's your favorite song on that album? Side note.
I'm having an alligator tears moment right now.
Ooh, love. I'm liking Daughter and Jolene. I can't stop with Jolene. I can't stop.
Yeah. And Two Hands to Heaven is also as well. It's also good, but I like. Yeah, I'm having an alligator tears moment right now, like on repeat because it's short. So I'm like, oh, it's over already. Repeat.
I love a short one. I love a short song. You thought you were done? I'm going to learn every word, and I'm going to learn when you're going to say things. Little choreography. Yeah, relatable. Is it true the market dropped 20% from its peak?
It's more than 20%. Yeah. I mean, interest rates are super high. Last year alone, sales were down 86%. That's a lot.
Oh my God. It sounds like a lot. Like, I don't know anything, but that sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's more than half. It's almost 100%. It's 86%. That's horrible. So, I mean, the fact that I'm still here, the fact that we still continue to get up and try to service our clients, and and have a business, it's tough. Like you guys, like I want your listeners to understand this is not easy. And sometimes I feel like I came into real estate at the wrong time, if I'm being completely honest. Because there's so many new legislations. They just passed the NAR, the National Association of Realtors. There's this new. Did you hear that?
No. What was it?
That was thunder and loud.
Anyway. The weather is like Mercury retrograde is Mercury retrograding. It's insane.
So yeah, I mean it's tough, but nothing worth having is going to come easy. I just know that I have to weather the storm, and I'm going to be there. I want to be there on the other side, and I have great things coming. I got a big showing later on today that's going to be a record price sold for me if all goes well. So I just try to put one foot in front of the other every day and just try to do what I can and answer the calls that come in and do my best to service my clients. But it is not easy at all.
And I think that answers the next question, which is how are you managing through the down market? I mean, you show up, you try to do the best that you can for your clients. I know this might sound odd, but like, do real estate agents, is it something where like every real estate agent in this market should be in, like, have a good therapist on call? You know what I mean? Like, is it like essential to prioritize your mental health?
Absolutely. I mean, you can't be your best client, be your best and service your client if you're not your best self.
Yes.
Like it all starts from up top. I'm not well if I don't feel well. And yeah, so I actually need to get back into therapy, and that's a priority of mine. But
same.
Luckily, I have some good practices that keep me afloat and keep me in the light. Thankfully, I am a person who's always optimistic.
Yes.
Which is a blessing because not everyone is. I'm sure we both encounter people who are not. And it's like, wow, you're kind of draining. Like, I can't deal with you right now. Like, I don't want that energy. Like, everything is going to be all right as long as you keep working.
Yes. Yeah. What's your sign?
I'm a Sagittarius.
I'm a Sagittarius rising. That's why we get along so well. Instant. Right. Okay, I get along with every Sagittarius I've ever met. Except for Chelsea on Love is Blind, which I don't know.
Ooh. I love Love is Blind.
From Kwame season, that Chelsea.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. She really bothered me for whatever reason, getting off topic. But Chelsea, I guess she's a Sagittarius. I was very about that.
Yeah.
I want to end with, I remember you saying on your podcast that a dream would be to have like your own DIY HGTV show. Mm-hmm. Have you thought about any premises? Would you let Sonika do demolition? She used like, we like made the joke like Sonika has like a demolition team. Like, would you let her be part of it?
Sonika could sing my theme song.
I was gonna say that.
That can be her part. She could, you know what?
Royalties.
I can't express how much I love that girl, but it's just an unfortunate situation, and we will come full circle again.
Yes.
But as far as my aspirations, I want more opportunities in media. I'm manifesting my own HGTV show, something that's first time home buyer oriented, because I think that is my specialty. I work with them a lot, and maybe like. Do you ever watch My Lottery Dream Home with David? What's his name? I forgot what his name. But it's a great show. I want something that can run and run and run and run and run and run and run.
Like Extreme Makeover Home Edition, like that old like move that bus, like
capturing America's heart, season after season.
Yes,
making a good living with my man in our home, maybe some kids. Like I'm ready for it all, and I know if I just keep working and keep networking and building these positive relationships, I will get it.
You will.
I'm gonna get it.
It'll be a matter of when. My friends keep telling me, always say when this happens and not if. So when this happens, we will sit back and enjoy.
Exactly, and then I'll come here and we're gonna talk about everything that we manifested. I'm coming back.
Exactly. We're going to remember April 5th, 2:57 p.m. This shit was in the stars. In the stars.
Exactly.
So let me end with, when is season 3? Do you have any idea, if you can share that?
We have not found out anything yet. And what I've learned about being in TV is that they don't really tell you shit. Like, you would think, like, as a cast member, that I would be, like, in the know on communication.
The first one to know?
No, I am the last to know, and that's fine. But no, we haven't heard anything yet. Thankfully, our ratings have been good season 1 we only made it to number 6. This year we were to number 4. We went up to number 4. We would have loved to be number 1, but we're happy to be still climbing. And for our listeners and our the viewership that's come and checked out our show this year, and I think most people jumped in on season 2, but I implore you to go back and watch season 1 too, and see where we came from.
I'm gonna rewatch season 1.
See the improvement. Now that can I tell you something? I've only
Yes.
watched season 1 once, and I've only watched season 2 once. It's weird when you're on it. Like, I don't need to rewatch it.
I get that. You're like, I lived it. And to be honest, I only watched season 1 once, but I watched season 2 6 times before our episode. So I was like, oh, I'm fresh on season 2. And then you mentioned season 1. I was like, yes, it was my favorite part was definitely, I know that it was like very small, but when you made the comments about wanting your napkins to match your outfit, every open house you did, I loved. I loved the Aspen trip when they asked you specifically, like what did Joey say? Like, and then you had to like give the
On
tea.
the horse?
Yes.
On the back of a horse?
Riding on a horse. You were giving them the tea on the horse.
Spilling tea on the horse. Yeah.
And then I need to know too, why is Joey not labeled the messiest cast member when he is? Like, he's even messier than Ben. Like, I just, do you agree?
I love me some Joey Bensby. Joey is the best. Like, the best. He's so funny. He's so charming.
Funny. He's so charming.
I have nothing to say. You know, Joey says some things that are off the cuff. And
He's
I'm like,
so charming,
why,
though.
Why'd you just say that? But he's just so charming. You just want to like hug him, you know, like a little koala bear.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are so infuriating, but also somehow you do something for me. And for that reason, like,
It's okay.
like you kind of remind me of people. So like, that's fine. You know, like I'll let it go. Is there anything that you would, wait, what was your favorite part?
My favorite, I loved, I had some of my confessional interview moments that I was like, damn, what are you talking about? Why are you saying that? I don't remember what I said because, I mean, I don't hold on to every word. I kind of release it into the universe. So I'm not thinking about, oh, like I said that. I had no idea what I said until like the show came out. I really just say it in the moment and say how I feel and move on. So when I'm watching it back, I was like literally like legit laughing at myself. Like, you are ridiculous.
You're hilarious. I forget what you were saying when you had on this like purple number. It was like such a cute purple sweater, but I was doing my laundry prepping and I like stopped to like start like laughing and I was like, that was so funny. Like that, you were instantly my favorite cast member because of the one-liners, confessionals, and just like your reactions. And when you laughed at Sonika while I was laughing, I was like, oh, kindred souls. Because how the hell did you react to this?
Exactly. You react by laughing. I'm always going to laugh in good times and bad, which is kind of bad, but I'm always going to laugh.
Like that's my worry with reality TV. Like, even when something trauma happens, people would be like, why is that girl laughing? That's so inappropriate. But sometimes I can't help it. Like, it's like rather laugh than cry. Like, I don't know. Trauma
like
response.
if somebody falls, I'm going to make sure you're okay, but I'm probably going to laugh. I'm sorry. I'm probably
like, if I just fell through this chair right now or something, like, there's not a shot I'm not laughing.
I would die, and I would make sure you were okay as well, but I would like have tears in my eyes, and hopefully you would start laughing with me.
I would be like on the floor for like a couple minutes. Love it.
Yeah.
So let's end with where to follow you, just to remind everybody.
Yeah, so I am Brandon Graves across all social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and then my podcast, basically Brandon. New episodes every Wednesday. I have to bring you on for a recap episode. Would you be down for that?
I would be so down and honored. I would be honored.
Okay.
I would love to
I'm going to reach out.
Thank you. I would love to do that. Everybody go follow Brandon. Go check out Basically Brandon. Send some love if you listen to this episode. Send some love if you need a house and you're in the Los Angeles. You also do Pasadena, though. I saw. Like, you sell homes in Pasadena. So that place as well.
All of it. My first sale ever was in Pasadena. I love Pasadena. It's gorgeous there.
It's gorgeous there. I've been there. It's very gorgeous. So reach out to Brandon, reach out to me, and stay tuned for our episode because I'm going on his podcast. I'm going to stop.